Hey, thank you for joining the First Middle Church of Christ, and we're so glad to have you. And we're just outside enjoying this nice weather. And be sure to go to our social platforms and to follow us and to share, and also to go to our YouTube channel. Other videos and things that we have there to help you draw closer to the Lord. But what do we know about Hamas? Who is Hamas? What we do know is that Hamas is a Palestinian acronym for resistance movement and an Arabic word which means zeal. Hamas also is a Hebrew word in the Bible, and we see it used here in Genesis chapter 6 verse 11. It says that the earth was also corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. Hamas in the Hebrew word means violent or evil, and Hamas is a demonic spirit of violence. He wants to destroy the Abraham covenant and to take the land, all the villages, and destroy the lineage, and to redefine who the Lord is. Now, this demonic spirit has been at work since the days of Noah. The Babylonians were filled with this spirit. The Egyptians were filled with this spirit. And the point is, people come and go, but the demons still remain the same. The spirit of Hamas is always working in and through nations, governments, and people to bring about possession of the land and to end this lineage and destruction of the plan of God, as well as to destroy and to wipe out the Jewish people. Hamas is a demonic warrior and powerful. When you see Hamas celebrated globally, know that this is worship. This is a spiritual warfare. We are living in the last days, and this is real. This is not just something that's going to be coming and going, but this is real, what we are seeing. These are the signs of the end of the age. And what we do know also too is that Sarah, Hagar, Isaac, and Ishmael, we see conflict in the home. This is what happens when you run ahead of God. Abraham is the father of two sons, but yet there is only one covenant. So one of the two boys is going to receive the covenant. Now, here Abraham has an issue. Which son will inherit the promise of the covenant? So now you have a conflict between two wives, Sarah and Hagar, and you have a conflict between two sons, Ishmael and Isaac. Now, Sarah decides to kick Hagar out of the house. And listen to Genesis 16, verses 5 and 6. Then Sarai said to Abraham, "This is all your fault. I put my servant into your arms, but now that she's pregnant, she treats me with contempt. The Lord will show who's wrong, you or me." Abram replied, "Look, she is your servant, so deal with her as you see fit." Then Sarah treated Hagar so harshly that she finally ran away. So Hagar runs away out into the desert, and the Lord appears to her, tells her to go back. So Hagar goes back, and we see in Genesis 21, verses 12 through 14, that God said to Abraham, "Do not be upset over the boy and your servant. Do whatever Sarah tells you, for Isaac is the son through whom your descendants will be counted. But I will also make a nation of descendants of Hagar's son, because he is your son too." So Abraham got up early the next morning, prepared food in a container of water, and strapped them to Hagar's shoulders. Then he sent them away with their son, and she wandered aimlessly in the wilderness of Beersheba. You know, what do you do with a demon? Well, you cast it out. And the spirit Hamas, that was in the days of Noah, has entered into the home of Abraham, and it causes conflict between the Holy Spirit and the Hamas spirit. Abraham had to choose which one to accept, the Holy Spirit, Sarah, and Isaac, or the demonic spirit, Hamas spirit, of Hagar and Ishmael. Well, we see that Abraham chose and accepted the Holy Spirit, Sarah, and Isaac. Now, the Bible doesn't just tell us what happened, but what always happens. And we just don't look at the Bible, we look through the Bible to make sense of the world in which we live. The evil spirit versus the Holy Spirit, and neither one of them can coexist. This is what happens in the land of Israel. You have two spirits that cannot coexist. The end time events will resolve around Jerusalem. It's not going to resolve around Moscow, Paris, Washington, D.C., New York, but it's going to revolve around Jerusalem. Zechariah chapter 12, verse 2 and 3 tells us that I will make Jerusalem like an intoxicating drink that makes the nearby nations stagger when they send their armies to besiege Jerusalem and Judah. On that day, I will make Jerusalem an immovable rock. All the nations will gather against it and try to move it, but they will only hurt themselves. What we are seeing is the end time events. The Bible just doesn't just tell us what happened, but what always will happen. And yet, we need to be ready and watch.